And a very good morning. Now we begin our chapter 5 with the entitled Business Process Management and Six Sigma, the fundamental. Okay, we look at the content. Basically, in this chapter, we're going to look on the BPM with Six Sigma and the relation. And we're going to look at several terms that related to the BPM. And then we're going to look at some of the history and why we need to learn the Six Sigma and where to apply Six Sigma in BPM. Now we have a main reference. I will give you the reference later. The main reference entitled Six Sigma and Business Process Management in a handbook, Business Process Management by Springer. Yeah, it was written by Conger in 2015. All right. So we're going to look at the relation as for the introduction. Okay, we learned before that in order for us to develop an information system, one of the phase that we have to go through is actually the first phase of the life cycle. So we have to understand and identify the as-is processes, and from that as-is processes we identify what are the processes that can be automated and what processes that don't have some of the tasks that we won't automate it has information system. Okay, so the reason we learned this is actually we know that organization should improve their services, their function in order to remain competitive and effective. Okay, business organization comprises of people and processes that we do in a daily basis. Okay, if the organization do not manage the process effective, then it will cause disadvantage in many factors. So organization that allocate information technologies or IT to processes but did not manage the processes is basically wasting the effort, wasting resources such as money, time, skills. Why? Because the output of the system do not reflect the actual processes. So in order for us to build an information system, it is important for us to study the processes, improvise the processes, identify the activities and tasks, what are the inputs, what are the formulation for transactions, what are the decision that involve in the task, and so on and so forth. All right, these are this grid shows the intensity of IT deployment versus management practice score, okay, which it divided into the first 25% and below. Another half is 75% and above. Okay, so at the lower left hand grid we have 0, meaning if you did not manage your IT and your processes, you will find 0 effective work process. Okay? But if you manage the business or the organization according to the business strategy, and then you manage your process, then you may achieve up until 20% effectiveness for the business process. So we have to be an effective organization, we must look at the high up right grid according to this grid from managing both IT and processes, business processes. where we find that it is important for us to look at the topic. Okay. All right. So another continuity for the introduction is organization have to understand that access of any sort is costly. Mana-mana yang kita tak susun, tak manage, lebihan information yang kita tak organize well, kita tak control well, kita tak categorize well or classify well, it may be costly. And activities yang tak perlu, sebab kita kena identify activity tu boleh di-automatekan, apa kategori dia, must be removed, should be removed. So the first step to removing this excess is to understand the business process. Siapa involved, unit mana yang akan laksanakan, mana perkaitan unit, apa breach dia, apa information dia, apa input dia, apa output dia. So we must understand the business process as is, the as is process in order for us to improvise and develop an information. So this is going to be to-be processes. Okay, the work those process accomplish, what are the outcomes? Is it effective? Is it useful? Is it accurate? And how that work relates to organization strategy. Now this is very important. So we must relate to the organization strategy, because only that it will achieve satisfaction. It will achieve effectiveness, optimization. So this part is very important. Okay, so any process step or process product is meaning it could be artifacts, it could be objects, output objects, that does not contribute to the organization strategy or its ability to meet its mission, we consider it as a waste, pembaziran. Okay? So the overall goal of BPM is to improve processes to optimize fulfillment of customer value. Okay? So this is an important goal. Kita nak buat BPM tu sebab nak improvise processes. So this process improvisation must achieve optimization, fulfillment, and satisfaction. So there are two related terms that we're going to look at that related to this. Is actually business process improvement and business process re-engineering. Okay. So the business process improvement focus on reducing variation in process output by identifying the underlying cause of variation. Okay. An incremental approach to move an organization toward business process centered operation. So the main goal is BPI kita ada 3. Number 1 is reducing processing time, reducing process time. Why? Because we want to make things fast and faster, fast, by eliminating useless steps, in order for us to adopt any technology or IS, information system. Number 2, improving output quality by creating a quality output. So we may have same input that will generate different types outputs. So we want to have some sort of control the quality of the output that we produced. The third one is cutting out waste. We want to cutting out waste which is irrelevant in our workflow. Another term is what we call as business process re-engineering. It's a radical redesign. It's a radical redesign of an organization business process to increase productivity and profitability. It examines business process with a clean slate approach. Maksudnya dia buat baru. start from scratch, totally new, okay, without probably without taking so much consideration on all processes. You're totally buat baru, ya. So this is so BPM uses these techniques, okay, um, to measure, to analyze, and to improve processes. However, there is no single body of knowledge or techniques that apply to BPM. Okay, ini antara kelemahan dia ialah tak ada single techniques yang boleh di-apply pada BPM. So, in order for us to measure, analyze, and improve processes, Six Sigma provides useful technique for BPM. Okay. Selain pada Six Sigma, kita ada dua lagi. We have another two types of techniques, which are lean manufacturing and total quality management. Another terms that we use is TQM. Alright, these techniques often use sebagai continual processes of detecting and reducing or eliminating errors, particularly in manufacturing. It started off in manufacturing. Okay, and then streamlining supply chain management, improving customer experience, ensuring that employees are up to speed. Yeah. Employees tu kena cekap lah. Yeah. Effective and efficient. Yeah. Providing the scale. Yeah. Why? Because over the time, changes might happen. Yeah. Changes might happen due to increased demand. So we must do this in coping with changes as well. Here's some history of Six Sigma. So in the history, it says that it started off a lot in the US. It's rooted from the US in 1950s. Okay, by this in the US and of course in Japan, where it's popularized by Sherwood dengan Deming ni, as a technique to continuous process improvement that leads to quality production. So it's some sort of quality framework as well. Six Sigma is the practice of continuous improvement that follow methods developed at Motorola. So it started at Motorola. It's based on the notion that dia punya benchmark that no more than 3.4 defects per million are acceptable. Dia cuma that is dia punya notation of errors lah. So Six Sigma basically borrow the lean manufacturing practice, what we call it, I take this from Gemba Kanri. Gemba Kanri is a Japanese word, which loosely translate as workshop management. It's basically for error proof and to remove waste from processes. So the guiding principles of lean practice ni, technique ni, or we call it lean manufacturing ni, are not to make defects, accept defects, create variation, repeat mistakes, or build in defects. So it started in Motorola. We continue and then it also having a great success, and then it continue Six Sigma continue digunakan di Honeywell, sama juga dengan GE, General Electric, in the US. Ini contoh. So apa yang dimaksudkan dengan Six Sigma is basically a sigma is basically, kalau kita belajar statistik kamu semua belajar statistik kan, is basically a standard deviation from some population mean. Six Sigma practice strives for 99.99 from 99.97% accuracy in the process. So it's very, very hard. So Lean Six Sigma combines lean manufacturing waste removal discipline with Six Sigma defect prevention goal. Six Sigma and Lean are compatible families of techniques. So itu lead us to the knowledge in this chapter. Where Lean removes waste, Six Sigma removes error from processes. So these two concepts is very important. Lean remove waste, Six Sigma remove errors from processes. So the purpose of Six Sigma is to prove predictability quality of developed products and services through the removal of the normally distributed error. For example, so these are the sigma. So usually error dalam statistik kalau kita tengok it depicts on the varies of means ni on the this is the center of the line here. Okay, so the sigma tu is standard deviation, is where the horizontal line here. So the tolerance would be 2 sigma, 4 sigma, 6 sigma. So basically dia berada di hujung ni, the very small area here. Okay, so which is define the notation kita tadi tu has 3.4 per million errors. Daripada 3.4 million products yang kita produce tu, hanya ada satu saja defects. So that is the meaning of Six Sigma. Alright, so dalam Six Sigma ni kita pun ada yang kita panggil sebagai analysis. When applied, how to apply. So when to apply Six Sigma in the business process, okay, in order for us to eliminate ataupun buang waste or defect processes, unnecessary or inefficient step from a business process. Kita ada several techniques such as check sheets, Pareto analysis, cause and effect diagram, or kita panggil sebagai fishbone diagram, root cause analysis, and value added analysis. So these are several analyses that we can use in applying the Six Sigma in BPM. Okay, basically there are a lot analysis types. So these are among few lah, compared to the hundreds techniques that is useful to identify, prioritizing, analyze, and fixing errors in processes. Okay, saya stop dekat sini sekejap.